All right, today we are diving into a brand new AI tool that is way, way more than just another image generator. Seriously, it's designed to be something completely different. Okay, let's get into it. So the big idea behind Google's new Nano Banana Pro isn't just to hand you a tool. It's to give you a real, actual partner for your creative work. And that's a pretty fundamental shift in how we can think about bringing our ideas to life. So, to really wrap your head around what that means, let's start with a question that sounds, well, pretty much impossible. Could an AI actually create an image of what the weather looks like in a specific city at this exact moment? Well, someone in Brooklyn went for it. They asked for a picture of the weather right then and there. So the AI actually used Google search to check the real-time conditions, the time of day, the cloud cover, everything. And then it generated an image from that data. And get this, when the user compared it to a photo they took with their own phone, the result was just shockingly close. It wasn't a live photo. It was a picture built from pure information. And this is Nano Banana Pro. It's Google's new heavy hitter for images, and the secret sauce behind that whole weather trick is what it's built on. It runs on the brain of Google's main AI, Gemini 3 Pro. That's what gives it this wild ability to understand and actually interpret the real world. So how does it actually think? This is really the first big thing that sets it apart. It isn't just recognizing patterns in pictures, it's using real reasoning and world knowledge to understand what you're asking for on a much, much deeper level. Okay, so let's peek under the hood at its process. It doesn't just spit out an image in one shot. First, it pictures the scene based on your prompt. Then it develops a concept for it. Then it creates the image, but here's the magic part. It then self-analyzes its own work to see if it actually nailed what you asked for. This whole self-correction thing is an absolute game changer. It means the model isn't just randomly throwing pixels on a screen. It is critically thinking about its own work, and it refines it to make sure it's accurate. It's this constant loop of creating and then checking. And this is just a brilliant example of how far that reasoning goes. Someone gave the model a picture of a caveman running from a T-Rex and just asked it for the likely outcome. The AI reasoned that, given the whole situation, things probably weren't going to end well for the caveman, and it generated an image showing exactly that. That's not just making a picture, that's predictive reasoning. Okay, let's move on to the second pillar here, pixel-perfect control. This is where Nano Banana Pro shifts from being just a smart generator to being a professional-level creative tool that gives you an insane amount of command over your creations. Now, putting things together in a scene has always been a huge headache for AI, but look at this. You can take different source images, like one of a bed and some others of cats, and have it combine them into one totally seamless new picture. It actually understands how to arrange things to make it look right. And this control isn't just for objects and furniture. Keeping a person looking like the same person from picture to picture is notoriously hard for AI. Well, Nano Banana Pro can take up to 5 different people from different photos and place them into a new scene, all while keeping them looking like themselves. I mean, for anyone trying to create stories or mock-ups, this is a massive leap forward. So the key takeaway here is you're not just writing prompts anymore. You're basically a director. You can take an image and say, okay, change the lighting from day to night, or give me a top-down camera angle. You can even adjust the focus to highlight something different. These are legit professional controls, but made super simple. Now for the third pillar. And honestly, this is one that has been a nightmare for almost every other image model out there. Text. Nano Banana Pro is designed to finally get text right, creating clear, readable words in pretty much any style you can dream up. And the range it has is just incredible. I mean, it can generate text in really complex styles, like weaving the word Berlin into the city's architecture, or making a proverb look like it's carved out of wood. It can design cool, expressive logos, and even do stuff like translate the text in an ad while keeping the original design. But this goes way beyond just spelling words correctly. It's something Google is calling depth of knowledge. The model doesn't just translate words, it understands the cultural and factual context behind them, and that leads to some truly mind-blowing results. Okay, this is my favorite example. Someone asked it to translate established 2023 into Thai. It didn't just translate the words. It knew that Thailand uses a different calendar, so it automatically converted the year 2023 to the correct Thai year, 2566. That's not just translation. That's genuine cultural understanding. Of course, with all this power, you have to talk about responsibility. So let's get into our final section. Where can you actually use this stuff? And maybe more importantly, how can we trust what we're seeing in a world that's going to be full of AI-generated images? First off, where is it? Well, it's being woven into everything. You'll find it in the Gemini app for just everyday stuff, in Google Workspace for work projects, and in developer tools like AI Studio. So it's being put right into the hands of everyone, from advertisers and students to professional filmmakers. But this brings us to that massive question. If AI can create images that are this realistic, how on earth are we supposed to know what's real and what's not? This is easily one of the biggest challenges facing AI today. So, Google's answer to this is a technology called SynthID. The best way to think about it is like an invisible digital watermark that gets embedded right into the pixels of every single image that Nano Banana Pro makes. You can't see it, but a tool can scan it and verify that, yep, this came from Google's AI. And Google is being really clear about how you access these features. When you're in the Gemini app, you just select the Thinking with 3 Pro model. This way you know exactly when you're using the tool that has all these advanced abilities and the built-in safeguards. And to add another layer of transparency, they're using a tiered system for watermarks. For free and pro users, there's a little visible sparkle watermark on the image. But for the Ultra and developer accounts, where professionals really need a clean image, it relies only on that invisible SynthID watermark. So when you put it all together, the reasoning, the control, the deep understanding of context, it really brings us right back to that first idea. This feels so much less like a tool you command and a lot more like a creative partner you actually collaborate with. And that leaves us with one last, pretty fascinating thought. As these AI systems evolve from being simple generators into true creative partners, what does that unlock for us? What becomes possible when the limit is no longer the tool in our hands, but the scope of our own imagination?